They say real men don't cry. They say strength is silence. But what does it mean to truly suffer in silence? And why are so many men, especially here in the United States, choosing to endure their pain alone? Today, we explore the unspoken truth of male suffering, why real men often choose to remain silent, and the toll it takes on their lives, their relationships, and their mental health. This is The Toxic Stoic, and today's episode is about understanding why real men suffer in silence. From an early age, boys are taught to be tough. In the US, phrases like man up, don't be weak, and boys don't cry are ingrained into the culture. But what does this teach men? It teaches them that emotions are a weakness, and so they grow up learning to bottle it all in. In a country that celebrates independence, individualism, and strength, men feel immense pressure to live up to societal expectations. There's an unspoken rule: never show vulnerability. But behind that silence is a growing mental health crisis. According to the American Psychological Association, men are far less likely than women to seek help for emotional problems. They suffer in silence, often feeling isolated in their pain. Anxiety, depression, and feelings of inadequacy go unspoken, festering beneath the surface. The U.S. has seen a surge in awareness around mental health, yet for many men, the stigma remains. They don't want to be seen as weak. They don't want to admit they're struggling, so they suffer alone with a heavy heart and a burdened mind. But why? Why do men choose to stay silent? Part of the answer lies in traditional gender roles. There's an expectation in America that men must be the providers, the protectors, the pillars of strength for their families. Asking for help, admitting to pain, is seen as failure. These men feel the pressure to always be strong, to always have the answers, and yet inside, they are crumbling. Suffering in silence becomes their default mode because they fear judgment, they fear rejection, and most of all, they fear being seen as less than. The consequences of this silence are devastating. Men who suppress their emotions often turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms: substance abuse, aggression, or shutting down entirely. And tragically, the silent struggle leads many men to an even darker place. In the US, men account for nearly 70% of all suicides. This isn't just a crisis, it's a wake-up call. Suffering in silence doesn't make a man stronger. It breaks him down, slowly, from the inside out. Stoicism is often misunderstood. It's not about suppressing emotion or enduring hardship in silence. True Stoicism teaches us to acknowledge pain and difficulty, but to control our response. It's about finding strength in adversity, not pretending adversity doesn't exist. When men misunderstand Stoicism as silence, they're missing its core message. Stoicism encourages introspection and emotional regulation, not emotional suppression. Real strength is acknowledging your struggles, not ignoring them. The solution isn't easy, but it's necessary. Men need to break the silence. They need to understand that asking for help, opening up, is not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. The U.S. is slowly changing its attitude toward mental health, but real progress happens when men take the first step, when they choose to speak out. It's time to redefine what it means to be strong. Real strength isn't found in silence, it's found in connection, it's found in vulnerability. When men come together, share their burdens, and support one another, they create an unbreakable bond, and that's where true resilience lies. It's time to change the narrative. Real men don't suffer in silence. Real men speak up, they reach out, and they find strength in their community. If you're struggling, don't suffer alone. Reach out, ask for help. You're stronger than you think, and real strength comes from facing your pain head on, not hiding from it. Subscribe to The Toxic Stoic and join us as we explore the real meaning of strength, because real men don't suffer in silence, they rise above it.